All right, so this is going to be a WebAssign problem, and this is actually number 18 on your homework set. So what we want to do is find the derivative and simplify completely. Now, for many of you guys, the numbers may be changed, but it's approximately around the same thing. So the first thing that you want to do, or the thing that I kind of realized, is that there's two different products that are being multiplied together. So in order for me to find the derivative, I know that I have to use the product rule. And if you remember, the product rule said that I take the first function, take the derivative of the second, plus now I leave the second by itself and take the derivative of the first. Okay, so for this one, red is going to be my first function, which is going to be my f. And then green is going to be my second function, and that's going to be my g. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the derivative. So I'm going to have y prime is going to be equal to, so now first f stays by itself, so that's nothing's going to happen here. So I'm going to have square root of x, and then my green one is going to be 4x plus 6, and then I'm going to take the derivative of that. Okay, and then this is going to be in black plus, okay, and then I'm going to get, whoops, I messed up. Then I'm going to take g, so g is going to be my green, and I'm going to have 4x plus 6. I'm not going to do anything with that, and then my f is going to be my derivative, so it's going to be the square root of x. Something that I can do, actually, let me, before I do anything, why don't I just switch it to power notation, because I can change a square root to x to the 1/2. That way it's easier to take the derivative. Okay, so now I'm going to have y prime is equal to the square root of x times a derivative of 4x plus 6. Okay, this is just going to give me, let me write it a little bit like this because this looks kind of weird. Okay, so this is going to be, it's going to be, the derivative of 4x is just going to be 4, and then the derivative of 6 is just going to be 0. Okay, so this is going to be plus 4x plus 6, and then the derivative of x to the 1/2 is going to be 1/2 x to the, and then I'm going to subtract the 1/2 minus 1. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to have y prime equals, now this is just going to be 4 plus 0 is going to be 4 square root of x plus 4x plus 6, and then I can bring this, a 1/2 minus 1 is going to give me negative 1/2, so I'm going to have 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. Okay, I can bring this down a little bit more. So 4 square root of x plus 4x plus 6, 1/2 x to the 1/2. Okay, so I'm almost done, but since I want to simplify completely, what I got to do is I got to distribute this thing to everything and then try to combine like terms. Okay, so I'm going to have y prime equals 4 square root of x plus, so this is just going to be, so this 4, I can basically put it over 1. So I'm going to have 4x times 1, which gives me 4x, over 2 x to the 1/2, plus 6 times 1 gives me 6 over 2 x to the 1/2. Okay, so I'm almost done. All right, so now I have y prime is equal to 4 square root of x plus 4 divided by 2 is just going to give me 2. X divided by x to the 1/2, and then 6 divided by 2 is just going to give me 3 over x to the 1/2. Okay, now I'm almost done. The only thing that I got to simplify now is that I got to take this x and this x to the 1/2. Okay, and whenever we're dividing things like this, well, remember that I just have to do, all I have to do is just subtract the exponent. So this is going to be x1 minus 1/2, which is going to give me x to the 1/2. So basically, this thing in blue that I just circled is going to be this x to the 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to have y prime equals 4 square root of x plus 2 x to the 1/2, because that's what we just found, plus 3 over, let's just rewrite that as radical notation, square root of x. I can also rewrite this as radical notation, y prime equals 4 square root of x plus 2 square root of x plus 3 over square root of x. All right, and the last thing that I got to do is just add these two together. 4 plus 2 is going to give me 6. Then I have the square root of x plus 3 over square root of x. Okay. So that will be my final solution. So a couple things that you got to do. Notice that I have two things that are being multiplied. So we have to use the product rule. Normally in an exam, you will actually be done here because sometimes it can be really, really messy. But for this problem, since we wanted to simplify completely, we had to do all of this extra algebra stuff.